evening and welcome to W The Hype Show. I'm Valerie Kelsey, founder and CEO of the show. Tonight we have got a wonderful, amazing, beautiful lady who's going to talk about what she is doing in the community to help each and every one of us. But before I go there, I would like to thank everybody who's been donating to our back to school backpack drive. I'm going to mention a little bit about a bike ride against bullying that will be taking place August the 13th, 6:30 a.m. in the morning, and it will be at Birdville. So bring out your family, because to me, a live child is better than a dead child. So bring your family, your child, know that this year going into the next school year, you will support them against bullying. So tonight we have got Jeca Williams. As you can see, she's going to do a little bit about herself, and why Miss Jeca on the show is because of some of the things that she a few weeks ago, out of the blue, she called me to ask me how I was doing. Wow, that is amazing that someone would take the time out to ask me how I was doing. So Miss Jeca, let's tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
First, thank you for
You're
having
welcome.
me on the show. I really appreciate the invite.
Thank you.
I'm definitely a beautiful soul.
I know you.
Pleasant interacting with you. So I'm honored that you would have me on the show.
Thank you.
So I'm Jeca. I am a host of things. First of all, I'm a mother. I have 4 children.
Wow.
And 3 grandchildren, very, very dear. And my son-in-laws, too, they're just as valuable and important to me. I'm a mediator. I have a business. I work as a mediator, and I provide advocacy for families who have children that use services in the special education department at their schools.
Okay.
So I do that. I do have a day job where I'm a student conduct officer for Dallas College. So I do that during the day, and I teach as an adjunct for UNT, University of North Texas. I'm on the roster to teach for other schools as well.
So what's that word you just used?
Adjunct?
Yeah, what is that?
So an adjunct instructor is like a part-time instructor. So I'm not considered a tenured staff member, but I do go in and I help teach a lot of the overflow or as needed whenever they have courses and things that I do.
So you see how many things she does. I thought I was the only one that worked hard. So you can see I'm not the only one who work hard. But you said that you are a mediator.
Mm-hmm.
Is that through the court system? What is it? Or
Well, I have my own company, Creative ADR Services LLC. ADR stands for Alternative Dispute Resolution. So there's a host of ways to resolve disputes, right? You have the court, you have an arbitrator who functions similar to a judge, and then you have a mediator who helps the parties come up with a solution, right? And even ombudsman, which I am as well. I'm an ombudsman as well. So it's just alternative ways to resolve their problems. Yeah.
So do you do like more for like marriages, or is it just?
I do all kinds of mediations.
Okay.
So my company, I am on the roster to mediate for a few courts locally, but I also have, I'm considered a rostered mediator certified through the state of Texas.
Okay.
So through them, I mediate medical bills for patients who've gotten enormous bills. And so I mediate between the provider and the hospital to come up with a reasonable amount for the bill. And I do family mediations with child support, divorce, visitation, custody. That's what I do for fun as my volunteer option.
You think that's fun?
Yes, I absolutely love it. And then I do mediations for small claims. So those are your automobile accidents, your debts, your credit card debts, all sorts of things, foreclosures, and yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't think you did all that. I just saw you did mediation, and it's just like two people solve it and be done with it. And but you're telling me a whole lot of things I didn't even know that you did.
Yeah, there's
You know,
a full process. I teach mediation for the University of North Texas. I actually teach the process. It's a little bit more than just kind of chatting.
So if I wanted to learn to do mediation, I could come to your company, you would teach me. Would I get a license at the end of it?
Well, I'm not certified yet to teach and give a license through my company.
Okay.
So I teach students through the university.
Okay.
That's on my bucket list, along with picking up another division of my company, which is arbitration. So I'm certified as an arbitrator to do that. So I look forward to growing there and then becoming a certified trainer so that I can take people through the mediation
So you
course.
should have told me all these things that you did so I could Google it, because I like to Google everything to see who my people are, but I didn't realise that you did so many different things, you know what I mean? And you stayed beautiful all day doing all that
Thank
work. That's a lot. So you're saying, so out of everything that you do, what's the best thing that you enjoy doing?
That's really hard to decide because everything that I do feeds both sides of my brain, both sides of my needs. So being a mediator fulfills that need to help solve problems and help support people to learn how to communicate through a conflict, right? So I love that. But then being able to teach it empowers other people to learn how to communicate better and then teach other people, right? So it's all just equally valuable. I couldn't possibly imagine one without the other.
Okay, that is good. So I know that I didn't know you did all those things. So I wanted to talk about you because you said you wanted to become a justice of the peace. And for me, when you called me that day, it was like you gave me that peace that I needed. So talking about your mediation, I didn't realise you had your own company. I just thought you was just going out there to do the justice of the peace. So let's talk a little bit about why, and I'll get back to your mediation, but I just want to know what makes you feel that you could be a good justice of the peace, because does it fall in line with you doing mediation?
Very good question. Thank you for asking. So the role of justice of the peace is really just that. It originated back in the 1800s, and it was designed to be a person of the community that could help resolve conflict for the community so that the relationship between the people in conflict could continue. So if you think about it, that's exactly mediation in a way, right? The ability to look for alternative to resolve a dispute to maintain a workable relationship. And so that's an extension of mediation, arbitration, being an ombudsman, right? Empowering and assisting people through a conflict, but applying the law fairly to ensure that both parties get an opportunity to be just, be heard, and make a decision that's reasonable, or even help them come up with their own. So yeah.
Okay, so what made you decide that you wanted to run?
Oh my goodness. So I have been volunteering for 8 years in the court as a mediator because I just really love it. So I've been volunteering, done hundreds of cases pro bono, and through that experience I learned that people had no idea what the Justice of the Peace did, right?
That's my next question.
That's number one. And secondly, people need help, and the Justice of the Peace Court is an opportunity to really help people from a different perspective, such as resources, referral information, having access, and seeing the court as a place for the community to connect back to solve problems, not just a place of reprimand, right? But to truly understand that the Justice of the Peace Court belongs to the people. It's known as the People's Court. And it's a place where you can get help to resolve conflict so that you can move forward in your daily life.
Wow, I didn't know that, because you're saying you do a lot of resources. So if I wanted some resource, I could come to you. Would I be able to come to I know I'm in North Richland Hills and you're in Fort Worth. Would someone like myself be able to come to your court and or not?
So one of the goals is to build a resource list once I'm elected that will provide that service. I'm not sure that that's something they're able to do right now.
Yeah, that's...
As far as anyone in Tarrant County could come in to any court, except for a few circumstances such as a landlord-tenant, it needs to be where the home resides. There are some restrictions, but most other cases, truancy and small claims and other, you have options that you can explore to decide which court you want to use. So Tarrant County-wide, yeah.
So what's the difference between a judge and a justice of the peace?
The biggest difference is the justice of the peace does not have to have a law degree for justice of the peace.
Okay.
It's considered one of the lowest level courts that provide services for things that happen in your everyday life, right? So no, you don't have to have a law degree, but what makes me unique is that I have the legal dispute resolution background as a mediator. So that makes me one of the most qualified justice of the peace that you could have, because it is a line short from having a law degree, but being a mediator makes me even more qualified to serve in that role. That's what I've been doing, and the concept is already there for me. But there are some amazing justices of the peace now, but they come from backgrounds such as military or police or real estate or corporate, other backgrounds.
So are there a lot of justice of the peace in Tarrant County?
So you have 8 courts. There are 8 courts in Tarrant County for justice of the peace, yeah.
You're so amazing, because you do so many different things. Because people tell me all the time, oh, you do so much. But yeah, listening to you, it's like you do much more than what I stay here all day. But it's like you're here, there and everywhere. So tell the audience, why would somebody want to vote? Because I know you're running to become a justice of the peace. Is it November?
Yes. Yeah.
Why would somebody, out of everybody in Tarrant County, what makes you think you're special enough to do?
Well, thank you. But here's the one thing I'd like to point out.
Yeah.
What you do is a lot in your space with your gifts and your talents, right? It has just as much value as what I do. So we equally do valuable things that are about quality and impact and a difference that we're making in the community. Even if you're only doing one thing, it has just as much weight as the 12 that I may do. So that doesn't matter. 12
that she does, right. Even if I do one thing, the 12 that she does.
Doesn't matter. Figuratively speaking.
I know, I'm joking. I'm sorry.
No, it's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. But as justice of the peace, it's important to ensure that we have a person in position that is just, fair, that sees the circumstances for what they are, not based on the merits of something different, but can really interpret the law and assist the parties through a process. If they're not able to handle that and make an appropriate decision, they're able to interpret the law and step in and make a decision according to the rules, according to the law, right? Because justice of the peace doesn't create law. We apply the law that's already been created. So, right? So it's important to know that you have a person in place that'll be there when you have circumstances that come up in the court, right?
Do many people know about like the justice of the peace, or is it like, because I really and truly didn't know much about, I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't know about the justice of the peace until you mentioned it. And one of the questions was when I asked you, what was it I asked you? Remember what I said to you?
Yeah, you asked me if I could go down to the courthouse and change a law about, what was it?
Jury duty.
Jury duty.
Because I didn't realize what I just thought everybody just got into office and they could change law. And I said, can you change jury duty? And she says, do you know what justice of the peace was about? And I says, no. So I Googled it. Trust me, I'm going to Google everything, you know what I mean? I don't do Siri, but Google will tell me, and that's why.
Mhm.
But so, like me, who don't know anything about the justice of the peace, imagine how many hundreds of people who don't know,
Right.
you know, what a justice of the peace is. Especially not being somebody in our colour,
Mhm.
we don't really understand a lot about the law. So do you find that's a problem with the ethnic minority groups, that we don't really know what a justice of the peace? So when they say vote, who are we going to be voting for?
Right. Well, not only people of minority that are considered minority, or but most people don't know what justice of the peace does. So it's not related to a specific group of
Okay.
people. Most people don't know because they haven't had those experiences that have led them to court. But the justice of the peace, most people think about weddings. They say, "Oh, I'm getting married at the courthouse." Everybody knows that's the justice of the peace.
Okay.
Getting married at the courthouse, right? But they do so many more things, which is most concerning, and it's more important to know because, yeah, weddings are nice, right? It's a great time to acknowledge the union of two people, but they do so many more evictions than weddings,
Wow.
right? So you have evictions, truancy, it's the number 2 biggest concern for families, and then your small claims, which is your debts, your credit card collections, the tow truck that picks your car up in the middle of the night in an apartment complex and you didn't know you were parked inappropriately. So life happens, right? These are average people living their daily life, trying to do well and make good decisions for their family, for their community. They are doing their best to maintain their lifestyle, and then something happens to them and they end up in justice of the peace court. Yeah.
That is crazy, because even today one of my clients came and says they was meant to come and have an appointment with me, and they says my car's been towed.
Yeah.
They did come in later down in the afternoon, but you would think that he would have realised that his car would have been towed, and that was just being at an apartment complex. But I would not have thought a justice of the peace would be where he would, if he wanted to fight it,
Right.
he would go and see a justice of the peace.
Right. They would file a suit or through there. Yeah. Yes.
So how long does the process take when somebody files to when they come and I'm calling it into existence before they would come and see you?
Thank you. Well, it depends, right? It depends on how many cases are there. It depends on what the docket looks like. It depends on how efficient the judge is. Depends on how often the judge is at work to process the cases. It depends on what services are provided to help the docket move faster, more swiftly, right? There are so many variables that can go into how quickly a case can be seen, and that's actually something that I'm going to address, so that we minimize the overflow, that we ensure that cases are seen as quickly as possible, so that people can move forward with the resolution. The stress of unknowing, of not knowing, is insane. So that's something that I would want to address and eliminate as well.
And that is true, because even when I had to go and do my jury duty, that stress, it was very, very stressful. And that is not something I'd want to be on my head all the time. So imagine if I had to wait 2-3 months just to get something resolved. That can make people sick. And you don't think of the justice of the peace. So let me ask you a question. So you said you had to go and see a judge. So before they can come to you, it has got to go to a judge and then it comes to you, or does it come to you then it goes to the judge?
No, the justice of the peace makes the decision. The justice of the peace is the judge.
Okay.
Is the decision maker. Right, so they file it in the court, and the staff and personnel work it through a process such as contacting parties, sending the mail out, certified mail, serving papers who needs to be served. There's a process for all of that before the case is heard and seen in the court.
And how long does that process take?
Again, it depends on the docket. Depends on how
And I can,
many cases they have
and I
already.
bet there's a lot of cases, especially because I can see how many people are going to be getting evictions and things, you know what I'm saying? So can you stop an eviction or can you not stop an eviction, or do you want to?
Well, what I would do is review and apply the law equally to both parties to ensure that the process is handled properly. If an eviction is necessary, then that's applied. If it's not, if there's an alternative, that's applied. So there's more to that.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to your mediation.
Okay.
I'm getting it right, right?
Yes.
So what made you choose to do mediation?
It really just evolved into this amazing opportunity to really help. I started out as a union steward working for a telecommunications company. So a union steward is a person that helps resolve conflict in the workplace. And I just want everyone to get along, right? So there's conflict, and I have a particular knack for identifying a potential conflict. So I noticed something was not okay. There was a morale concern in the company, and I started a morale boosting club and started doing things to build morale, to really rebuild a relationship between management and laborers and staff. And so I became a union steward and worked to resolve conflict in the workplace. And then I decided, as I continued, I took one class at a time to finish my degree.
Yeah.
So I took one class at a time to finish my degree, and I ended up getting my bachelor's in alternative dispute resolution. Back to mediation. And then I loved it so much. Now, mind you, it took me 20 years to finish my degree. Right?
It doesn't matter, did you finish?
I finished it.
That's all that matters.
Well, I was raising my children and all of that. So I loved it so much that a couple of months later, I started my master's program. So my master's is in conflict resolution and reconciliation, which is just mediation. So yeah.
So if somebody wanted to call you, your company, how would they reach you?
They could email my company, jwilliams@creativeadrservices.com, or they could call my company, 972-885-8703, and they would, get a greeting or leave a message if I'm in session with someone, and I call them back, see what we can do.
So how long are the sessions?
Well, it depends, because it's not my mediation, it's the party's mediation. So it depends on how they progress through the process of mediation. Most of them are typically 4 hours, but I've also had mediations that last 15 minutes at most, and so it just depends on how willing they are to reach a resolution. And then we just get to it. Let's get this resolved, yeah.
And is there so it's your company, so like the courts don't send people to you, is there a cost, is there a two separate cost, or is it just one cost that you?
Well, it depends on the nature of the case, but my company, I charge a fee, my company charges a fee for a service. The courts assign mediations and send them to me, and they're responsible for paying that fee. That's my company's fee. But then I also serve courts who have their own standard fee, and that's applied. But both parties are treated exactly the same, so both parties pay the exact same fee for the service. Yeah.
So I'm going to go back. What are your goals when you become justice of the peace? You hear I'm calling it into existence, so you all better go out and vote for this woman, okay? Because I just feel she's going to be an amazing justice of the peace, so I need you all to go out there and vote. And I know I can't vote, but that's okay, but that don't mean I can't tell you lot to go out there and vote. What are your goals when you become justice of the peace?
Thank you. So first let me clarify. The reason Valerie can't vote is because she lives outside of my precinct. Otherwise, I know I could count on her for a vote.
Yes.
So the people in my precinct live in Lake Arlington, Pantego, Dalworthington Garden, North Arlington, and South HEB. So everything south of 183.
Okay.
And then I have that little smidget of Grand Prairie up in the North Tarrant County section of the county up there. So I have all that space. So if you live outside of my precinct, my name won't appear on your ballot.
Okay, so you're not in Fort Worth.
No.
So I've been talking about Fort Worth for the longest, and now you're just telling people,
Yes, it's mostly Arlington, South, HEB, and
I didn't
Grand
know.
Prairie.
I thought you was in Fort Worth.
Well, Fort Worth is like the main hub area of Tarrant County, so a lot of people automatically associate Fort Worth. So no harm, no foul.
Okay.
So that's why
everybody
knows.
That's why I met you
everywhere.
in Arlington.
Yeah.
When I saw you in Arlington,
Right.
that was why you was there. Now that makes more sense. I'm learning people. I'm still new to all this election and voting and all this stuff, right? I've never voted, but I will be voting for somebody, even if it's for my legs, because they support me. But tell the people why they should vote for you.
So you'll vote for me by going all the way down the ballot, first of all, because my name is last on the ballot.
Because it's Williams.
No, because of the position of Justice for the Peace.
Okay.
So it starts out at the governor and it works its way down based on area. So my name is last on the ballot, so I need everyone to complete their ballot, go all the way down the ballot. That's so important to get to me, Jeca Williams. But as Justice of the Peace, I plan to implement a services to be mediation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would be like absolutely remiss if I didn't implement some type of mediation services. And improve accessibility, because we have laborers, we have people that work during the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So court being a standard hours, it makes it difficult for people who have to work. So I plan to improve accessibility so that you can minimize the amount of time that they're missing work, and help provide more resources and information, help people understand the process of going through the Justice of the Peace Court, both sides to ensure they have equal and same access to those resources and that information so they can more efficiently handle themselves when they're faced with a conflict.
So a few months ago, I had this lady on my show named Miss Sandra Lee, and she was a police officer, and I didn't know anything about voting. And she brought up Jeca's name, and it's so ironic, she called me. And I said in England that we have mouthpieces that when people are going out voting, that they shout out, "Did you vote?" So I found this little contraction that she can use and say, "Vote for me, vote for me." So I'm going to give this to Miss Jeca, because she needs to go out there and do like what we would do in England and go around all her area, Pantiga, Arlington, where else did you say?
Dalworthington Garden.
Whatever that was. And so she can go out there and shout in her car, "Vote for Jeca. Did you vote today?" Because we need good people right now. So Miss Jeca, this is yours.
Oh, thank you.
Let the people hear your voice. Because they need to hear who they're going to be voting for. It's on. Go on. Yeah.
Vote down the ballot for Jeca Williams. Did you vote today? Vote
You
Jeca.
need to go closer, because
Closer?
because people can't hear. They need to hear you out there why they need to vote for you.
Vote for Jeca. A vote for Jeca is a vote for justice.
Did you hear that, people? A vote for Jeca is a vote for justice, because right now we need justice in our community. There's so much going on, and we need good people, we need good, we need people who are going to do right by us. That's what I'm trying to say. And I believe that Miss Jeca would do right by us, because she's got a heart. She's a family mother, she's a grandmother. And as you can see, she's a mediator. She's not just going out there and says, "Okay, well, I'm going to do this job." She already knows what she needs to do for our community. So, Miss Jeca, I'm going to ask you one more question.
Okay.
It might be one, it might be two.
That's okay.
What does Don't Believe the Hype mean to you in what you're doing right now?
Don't Believe the Hype is very important and instrumental in the community. The services that you provide, the outreach, the connection to persons dealing with domestic abuse, violence, just helping people understand that they have a voice, they are empowered to use their voice, and make it more acceptable to get the help that they need. So it definitely makes a big difference, gets people used to the idea of using their voice the same way they would get the opportunity in court, but also reach out for help and assistance just like they would do in court by getting access to resources and information so that they can improve their quality of life and break the cycle.
Would you encourage people to find out more about what a justice of the peace do and what you would do? Is there, like, I know Janice has already put out your website. Is there something on your page that people can go to and learn a little bit more about Jeca?
Of course. My website is Jeca for Judge, the number 4, jeca4judge.com. I'm on all platforms on social media, from Twitter all the way down to TikTok. So, Jeca for Judge on all platforms. You can learn about me. I'm very transparent. I don't mind answering questions and helping people understand. It's so important to me that we have this great opportunity to make a difference in the community, ensuring that everyone has an equal, same, fair opportunity to get services, support, and most importantly, have their voice heard in court so that we can resolve their conflicts so they can move forward in their life. Yes.
Did you hear that? Jeca's taught me so much today because I didn't know about all what she did, and I'm going to probably pick her brain some more because I like to know what's going on around me in my community. So I need you all once again to go and vote for Jeca for Justice of the Peace. But you know what, before you go, there's something else that you're getting ready to do August the 2nd.
Yes.
I need you to tell the people because she don't look like the type that would be doing something like this, but you know what, getting to know her and seeing that beautiful smile, now I can understand why she's doing what she's going to be doing August
2nd.
So I need you to tell the audience about August the 2nd.
So August the 2nd, we are having an exciting fundraiser. All proceeds go to support Jeca for Judge campaign. We are having a comedy show. So we're having some amazing comics. Piper, the comedian, is the headliner. And I will get up and say a couple of things.
You're not going to do any comedy?
Hey, I might have a joke in my back pocket. I don't know. We'll see. But we're really just wanting to offer something different to our constituents and our supporters, helping you understand that we value you and your time. We appreciate you for coming out and supporting. So this was an idea to give you a break away from the norm so that we can understand that it's okay to celebrate the weekend on a weekday. Something as simple as that, to just give you a kickstart to continue your mission and your purpose. So we're just looking forward to having a great time.
You know what I like when I look through Jeca's posts is that Jeca doesn't fit the norm of a justice of the peace. I don't know if people say that to you. She's always so well put together. You know, you think of people in office as old and stuffy, and sometimes you need to break away from that. We need that young spirit. We need that vibrant spirit. And that's what I see in Miss Jeca, that she will bring something different to the table. And maybe that is what has been missing, that something different. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I wanted you to see Miss Jeca. Who is Jeca Williams? That was what I was going to call my program. Who is Jeca Williams? And now you can see she does so many different things that you out there in the community did not know that she did. Because I didn't know she did so many different things, and she's got so many different hats on. And now thinks she's a comedian. I'm going to be going to that show. Trust me. I am going to that show. I already saw when it came up on my feed, I says, I'm not going to be standing up, I'm going to be sitting down. I'm 59 years old, I ain't no spring chicken. So I will be at her show, front row, because I like comedy. as much as most of you probably think I'm old and stuffy now, I'm not that type of a person. So I need you all to go on to, where can they find this show? Because you haven't told them where they can find it.
It's on Facebook, it's on Eventbrite, so you'll buy your ticket through Eventbrite. Jams and Jokes for Justice, supporting Jeca Williams. So Jams and Jokes for Justice, you can find me.
There you go, Jams for Jokes.
Jams and Jokes for Justice.
Okay,
yep.
So there you go. Go on to, everything will be on our show tonight, so you can go back and recap it and find where it's at. And if you get stuck, you can always email Don't Believe the Hype Show or message us, and we will show you where you can find all Jeca's information, because this will be on LinkedIn, it will be on Alignable, it will be on all our information, so you can find out more about Jeca for Judge. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you back in 2 weeks' time, where we will have another amazing guest. I hope you learned something from Miss Jeca tonight. Miss Jeca, any final words you would like to say to the audience before we go?
Vote all the way down the ballot. Early voting ends October 11th. Registration to vote ends October 11th. Early voting begins on my birthday.
When's that?
October 24th.
Okay.
So we're going to have a party at the polls, I guess, for my birthday. So October 24th is the first day of early voting, and then election day is November 8th.
So hear that, she's going to be dancing at the polls.
No, I didn't say.
Not the polls, not them polls. What did you say?
I'm dancing at the polls. Just a party.
Polls.
Just a party at the poll, at the voting poll.
Oh, okay. You
Just
see.
a regular party at the polls.
So you're not having no big celebration?
No, it's just. No.
Oh, so I've got it wrong.
Just a party at the polls. That's it. Like
is that what it's called?
Birthday party. It's my birthday.
I know.
October 24th.
I know, but party at the polls.
POLL. So
Okay.
when you go vote, you're voting at the polls.
Okay, you see, I'm learning all these new terminologies. I'm like I said, I'm from England.
Yeah.
We don't.
That's it.
So
It's just voting at
voting at the
party.
What you're calling it, party at the poll.
For my birthday.
Okay, that's cool.
At the poll. That at is very important. We don't want to say party on.
No.
Party at the poll.
So
yeah,
you can see we're still going live, so you can see that Valley still makes mistakes. I'm human, just like everybody else.
It's okay. We just want to make sure we clarify.
Yes. So she's clarified it for you all. You can see she's a woman of jokes.
Jams and Jokes for Justice. I have a sense of humor.
Thank you for tuning in to the Don't Believe the Hype Show. And once again, please go out and vote for Jeca for Justice of the Peace. Thank you. You all have a wonderful and blessed evening. God bless you. Bye.
Bye.